The Michigan Dogman. This humanoid werewolf, or werewolf-like creature, was sighted more than 100 times in Michigan. One of the most notable sightings was the one that occurred in 1887. It was the first time the creature was ever sighted. Two lumberjacks in Wexford County saw a creature whom they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. It was 7 foot tall, blue-eyed, with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream. Another sighting occurred in the 19th century, in Paris, Michigan. A man named Robert Fortney was attacked by a pack of wild dogs. He was able to scare most of them away by firing a shotgun into the air. But one seemed completely unfazed by the firearm and instead stood on its hind legs and glared at the man. Reports of similar creatures also came from Allegan County in the 1950s, and in Manistee and Cross Village in 1967. Linda Godfrey, in her book The Beast of Bray Road, compares the Manistee sightings to a similar creature sighted in Wisconsin, known as the Beast of Bray Road. In 1961, a night watchman was patrolling a manufacturing plant in Big Rapids, Michigan, when he saw a peculiar figure. At first he thought it was a person until he saw the dog-like features. He pulled his gun and was about to shoot when he remembered his camera and took it out and took a picture of the horrific beast. The photo has not been analyzed yet, and it still remains an unsolved mystery. Reports of the creature still continue to this day. And the fact that there have been more than 100 sightings of the Dogman throughout the past 300 years in Michigan means that there's a high chance that it actually exists. The Yeti. Known to inhabit the Himalayan region of Nepal, Bhutan, and Tibet, the Yeti, or abominable snowman, is a mysterious ape-like creature which is taller than an average human and is covered with brown, grey, or white hair. The Yeti might actually be real, and history has proof of its existence. Many explorers, particularly in the Mount Everest area, have reported seeing evidence of this legendary animal. Stories about the snow-dwelling half-man, or half-ape, have been popular since the late 19th century. However, reports really begin in 1921, when Lieutenant Colonel Charles was undertaking the British Mount Everest expedition. He reported finding larger than usual footprints of a 2-footed creature. 4 years later, photographer N.A. Tombazi reported seeing a figure with an outline exactly like a human being, walking upright. It showed up dark against the snow, and wore no clothes. On Mount Everest in 1951, Eric Shipton took photos of large footprints in the snow. Some scientists have argued these photos are the best evidence of Yeti existence. In 1983, conservationist D.C. Taylor and historian Robert L. Fleming Jr. led an expedition in Nepal and reported seeing large footprints. In December 2007, American TV presenter Joshua Gates led a team to Mount Everest and found footprints measuring 33 centimeters long and 25 centimeters across, with 5 toes. He also found hair samples which, when analyzed, contained unknown DNA samples. Up to today, there's no hard, indisputable evidence for the Yeti's existence. However, that doesn't deter the true believers of the Yeti. The fact that these mysterious creatures haven't been found is not taken as evidence that they don't exist, but instead how rare, reclusive, and elusive they are. Like Bigfoot, a single body would prove that the Yeti exist, though no amount of evidence can prove they don't exist. The Lizard Man of Scape or Swamp. The Lizard Man is a mysterious reptilian humanoid creature that is said to inhabit areas of swampland in and around Lee County, South Carolina. On July 14, 1988, the Lee County Sheriff's Office investigated a report of a car damaged overnight while parked at a home in the area of Browntown, on the edges of the Scape or swamp. The car reportedly had tooth marks and scratches with hair and muddy footprints left behind. Sheriff Liston Truesdale noted this was the start of various claims that eventually coalesced into a story about a lizard man in the swamp. Prompted by the news of the vehicle damage, 17-year-old local Christopher Davis reported to the sheriff that his car was damaged by a creature he described as green, wet-like, about 7 feet tall and had 3 fingers, red eyes, skin like a lizard, snake-like scales. According to Davis, he was driving home from working the night shift at a fast food restaurant when his car got a flat tire. After fixing it, he saw a creature walking toward him. Davis got in his car and began to drive, but the creature was soon on top of the car. He applied his brakes, causing the creature to roll off the car, giving Davis enough time to escape. The increase in newspaper and media publicity prompted further reports of sightings, and the area soon became a tourist attraction for visitors and hunters. Local radio station WCOS offered a $1 million reward to anybody who could capture the creature alive. In 2015, local television station WCIV featured photos and videos claimed to be Lizard Man, allegedly taken by Jim Wilson and other unidentified individuals. In August 2017, the South Carolina Emergency Management Division sent a tweet regarding possible paranormal activity during the solar eclipse that passed over the area, hinting that people of Lee and Sumter counties should remain vigilant for sightings of the Lizard Man. Regardless of whether or not you believe in the Lizard Man, the elusive monster has become an integral part of the culture of Bishopville over the years and has repeatedly popped up in the media. The Black Demon Shark. The Black Demon Shark is believed to be an enormous black shark the size of the megalodon, located just off the Gulf of California. In recent years, numerous sightings have been reported, primarily from local fishermen. The Black Demon is said to be between 20 to 60 feet long and weighing anywhere between 50 to 100,000 pounds. It is said to resemble a great white shark, but with very dark coloration and a large tail. Some say it could be the megalodon itself, or a new species of shark, or perhaps an unusually large great white. Many expeditions were launched to locate the creature, even on Monster Quest in the chapter Mega Jaws. Nothing became of the investigation. Sadly, sightings are rare. Because of this, not much is known about it. The Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the forest of pine barrens in South Jersey. The creature is often described as a flying biped with hooves, but there are many variations. The common description is that of a bipedal kangaroo-like or wyvern-like creature with a horse or goat-like head, leathery bat-like wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, legs with cloven hooves, and a forked tail. It has been reported to move quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. There have been many claims of sightings and occurrences involving the Jersey Devil. While visiting the Hanover Mill Works to inspect his cannonballs being forged, Commodore Stephen Decatur sighted a flying creature and fired a cannonball directly upon it, to no effect. Joseph Bonaparte, elder brother of Napoleon, is also claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil while hunting on his Bordentown estate about 1820. During 1840, the Jersey Devil was blamed for several livestock killings. Similar attacks were reported during 1841, accompanied by tracks and screams. In Greenwich, during December 1925, a local farmer shot an unidentified animal as it attempted to steal his chickens, and then photographed the corpse. Afterward, he claimed that none of the 100 people he showed it to could identify it. During the week of January 16th to 23rd of 1909, newspapers published hundreds of claimed encounters with the Jersey Devil from all over South Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Among these alleged encounters were claims the creature attacked a trolley car in Haddon Heights and a social club in Camden. Police in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania supposedly fired on the creature to no effect. Other reports initially concerned unidentified footprints in the snow, but soon sightings of creatures resembling the Jersey Devil were being reported throughout South Jersey and as far away as Delaware and western Maryland. The legend of the Jersey Devil has grown over the years and has become ingrained into the culture of New Jersey.
Vampires are mythological creatures that have been the subject of countless stories, books, and films. According to folklore, vampires are undead beings that feed on the blood of the living, often causing their victims to become vampires themselves. There have been many reported sightings of these mythical creatures throughout history, which led some people to believe that there is a chance that they could be real. One of the most famous cases of vampire sightings occurred in the small town of Exeter, Rhode Island. According to reports, a family named the Browns had several members die from a mysterious illness. When the family's member, Mercy Brown, also fell ill, the townspeople believed that she was a vampire and began a series of rituals to prevent her from rising from the dead and feeding on the living. Her body was exhumed, and her heart was burned, and the ashes were mixed with water and given to her brother, who was also ill. Despite these efforts, her brother died. While the events in Exeter are often dismissed as superstition, they have become a part of vampire lore. In more recent times, there have been reported sightings of people who claim to be vampires or who practice vampirism. These individuals often dress in gothic clothing, adopt the lifestyle and mannerisms associated with vampires, and sometimes engage in blood-drinking rituals. It's believed that these individuals are genuinely vampires or are in some way connected to the supernatural. One possible explanation for the belief in vampires is a rare medical condition called porphyria. This genetic disorder affects the production of heme, a component of hemoglobin, and can cause symptoms such as sensitivity to sunlight, skin lesions, and anemia. In the past, people with porphyria may have been viewed as vampires because of their sensitivity to sunlight and their need for blood transfusions. Another possible explanation for the belief in vampires is the psychological phenomenon known as clinical vampirism or Renfield syndrome. This condition involves a compulsion to drink blood, and while it is rare, there have been documented cases of people who engage in this behavior. These individuals often report feeling a strong connection to vampires and may adopt the lifestyle associated with them. The Kraken is a legendary sea monster that has been a part of folklore and mythology for centuries. It is typically described as a giant octopus or squid that can reach enormous size, with tentacles that can wrap around and drag ships to the bottom of the ocean. While there is no direct evidence to suggest that the Kraken is a real creature, there are several factors that have contributed to its enduring popularity and the possibility of its existence. One of the key pieces of evidence that suggests the existence of the Kraken is the discovery of giant squid. While giant squid are not as large as the mythical Kraken, they can grow up to 43 feet in length, and they have been known to attack boats and even people. The first documented sighting of a giant squid was in 1861, when a specimen washed up on a beach in Newfoundland. Since then, numerous specimens have been discovered, and in 2012, the first live footage of a giant squid in its natural habitat was captured. While giant squid are not as large as the Kraken, there is evidence to suggest that there may be even larger species of squid that have not yet been discovered. In recent years, there have been reports of massive squid in the deep ocean that are estimated to be much larger than any currently known species. Another piece of evidence that supports the possibility of the Kraken's existence is the presence of mysterious underwater structures. In 2016, a team of researchers discovered what appeared to be giant circles on the seafloor off the coast of Scotland. The circles, which are about 2.4 meters in diameter, are thought to have been created by a creature that was larger than any known species of squid or octopus. In addition to physical evidence, there are also many reports of sightings of the Kraken throughout history. In the 19th century, there were numerous accounts of sailors encountering giant octopuses and squid, and many of these accounts may have contributed to the legend of the Kraken. The Bunyip is a mythical creature from Australian Aboriginal folklore that was reportedly sighted several times in Australia. It is described as a large, water-dwelling creature with a fierce appearance and a loud, booming roar. Many of the early accounts of Bunyip sightings come from European settlers who arrived in Australia in the 19th century. These settlers reported seeing strange creatures in the country's waterways, including rivers, swamps, and billabongs, which are small bodies of water that are connected to a river or stream. These creatures were described as having dark, matted fur, a dog-like face, and a long, powerful tail. Some Aboriginal stories also mention the Bunyip, describing it as a malevolent creature that is feared by many of the country's indigenous people. According to legend, the Bunyip was said to live in the deepest parts of waterways and would sometimes emerge to attack humans and other animals. There have also been several reported sightings of strange creatures in Australia's waterways that could potentially be the Bunyip. In the early 1900s, for example, a group of gold prospectors in Victoria claimed to have seen a large, unknown creature swimming in a nearby river. They described the creature as having dark, shaggy fur and a long, powerful tail. More recently, there have been several reports of large, unknown creatures in Australia's Murray River. In 2001, a group of fishermen claimed to have seen a creature that resembled the Bunyip swimming near their boat. They described the creature as being about 4 meters long, with a large, dog-like head and a thick, muscular body. Charybdis is a sea monster from Greek mythology that was said to inhabit the Strait of Messina, a narrow waterway between Sicily and Italy. According to legend, Charybdis was a giant whirlpool that would suck in ships and sailors, causing them to be lost forever. While most scientists believe that Charybdis is purely mythical, there are some natural phenomena that may have inspired the legend. The Strait of Messina is known for its strong currents and whirlpools, which can be dangerous for ships and boats. These currents are caused by a variety of factors, including the shape of the coastline, the tides, and the wind. One possible explanation for the legend of Charybdis is that sailors may have encountered these dangerous currents and whirlpools and attributed them to a supernatural force, such as a sea monster. Another possibility is that the legend of Charybdis was inspired by a real-life event, such as a shipwreck caused by the treacherous currents in the Strait of Messina. While there is no evidence to suggest that Charybdis is a real creature, there are many examples of sea monsters and other aquatic creatures that have been discovered in the world's oceans. Some of these creatures, such as giant squid and the coelacanth, were once thought to be extinct but have since been rediscovered by scientists. It is possible that there are other, as yet undiscovered, creatures lurking in the depths of the ocean that could inspire myths and legends like that of Charybdis. In fact, the vast majority of the ocean remains unexplored and uncharted, so it is entirely possible that there are creatures living in the ocean that we have yet to discover. The Chupacabra is a legendary creature that is said to inhabit parts of the Americas, particularly in Mexico and Puerto Rico. The name Chupacabra is derived from the Spanish words chupar and cabra, which refers to the creature's reported habit of attacking and drinking the blood of livestock, particularly goats. Reports of Chupacabra sightings began to emerge in the 1990s, particularly in Puerto Rico and other parts of the Caribbean. Witnesses described the creature as a bipedal, reptilian monster with spines or quills running down its back. It was said to be about the size of a small bear, with sharp claws and fangs. In the years since these initial reports, there have been numerous alleged sightings of chupacabras across the Americas. Many of these sightings have been accompanied by reports of livestock attacks and unexplained animal deaths. Some researchers have pointed to the similarities between the reported sightings and known animal species. For example, some experts have suggested that the chupacabra may be a misidentified or mutated species of canid, such as a coyote or wolf. Others have suggested that the chupacabra may be a new species of animal altogether, potentially a previously unknown type of mammal or reptile. However, no physical evidence of the creature has ever been found, and some skeptics have suggested that the sightings may be the result of hoaxes, misidentifications, or mass hysteria.
The Wisconsin werewolf. The Wisconsin werewolf, also known as the Beast of Bray Road, is a humanoid wolf-like creature that was sighted multiple times during the 1990s near the towns of Delavan and Elkhorn in Wisconsin. Because of the numerous witnesses who have claimed to see this creature, the evidence supporting the Wisconsin werewolf is far greater than the evidence supporting almost any other werewolf legend. It is believed that the creature is responsible for numerous brutal animal mutilations that took place in the area around Bray Road. The creature targeted deers and livestock. It partially ate their remains, then removed specific organs from their carcasses. The Wisconsin werewolf is most often described by alleged witnesses as large, anywhere between 6 to 7 feet tall, with a humanoid-style body, covered in fur or hair, and with a head resembling a wolf or a bear. It is purported to have been seen moving on 2 legs and sometimes on 4 legs. It is believed that the first time the creature was ever sighted was in 1936. The most notable sightings of the Wisconsin werewolf took place in the 1980s. Several alleged witnesses reported that the beast had left long scratch marks on doors and trunks of their cars. One witness stated she hit something while crossing Bray Road. Upon exiting her vehicle to determine what she had hit, supposedly a large wolf-like creature with red eyes chased her back into her car, leaving claw marks in the rear passenger door. Sightings also have been reported during daylight hours, with several witnesses stating they observed an unusually large wolf-like creature running on all fours through cornfields. Reported sightings continue, most recently in February 2018 and July 2020 when alleged witnesses observed a large, hair-covered upright creature in Spring Prairie and Lyons, both in Walworth County. Indrid Cold. Also known as the Grinning, or Smiling Man, Indrid Cold is a mysterious alien entity that was sighted several times in New Jersey during the mid-1960s. It is believed that Indrid can predict the future and speak telepathically. Most individuals who encountered Indrid described him as human-like in appearance, with a cartoonishly wide and long, eerie smile on his face. Indrid had a tendency to eerily smile at almost everyone that encountered him. It is believed that he still haunts West Virginia to this day. On December 15, 1967, American investigator John Keel reportedly received a phone call from Indrid Cold while he was on the Silver Bridge. Indrid told John Keel on the phone to run away because a terrible disaster was about to happen. As John Keel escaped, the Silver Bridge collapsed, resulting in the deaths of 46 people. Indrid was reportedly sighted for the first time just 1 month before the Silver Bridge incident happened. On the 1st of November, 1966, a salesman was on his way to his home when he noticed strange light in the distance. After he got closer to the source of the light, he found that it was actually a weird, lamp-looking, spacecraft-like vehicle. The door opened, and a man got out from the spacecraft, walking towards the salesman. The man spoke to the salesman telepathically, introducing his name as Indrid Cold. After the two had a conversation, where he said he was an alien from a distant planet and meant no harm to humans, he said that he will visit the salesman again. He then entered his spacecraft and disappeared. The salesman ended up contacting the police, trying to tell them the story, trying to convince them that it's real, but they didn't believe him. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and the salesman got interviewed by news outlets. After the interview, other people went forward and told their experiences with Indrid Cold as well. Some people described him as a 6-foot, bald humanoid creature that doesn't have any ears, nose, facial hair, or eyebrows. It is believed that Indrid has the ability to shapeshift and switch between two physical forms. Perhaps he shapeshifts into a normal-looking human to conceal his true alien identity at some times. That explains why some people said he didn't have any nose, ears, or hair, while others have said he looked just like any normal human being. While Indrid Cold was described to be utterly insane and psychopathic by some people, he never actually harmed anyone. In fact, some people even said that he was a non-malevolent alien who wants to help humans be safe by warning them of future disasters. Indrid Cold has been seen in connection with multiple UFO sightings. If Indrid is an extraterrestrial being, then he may have intentionally gone a bit overboard with the smile in order to appear friendly to humans. The Basajaun. The Basajaun, or Lord of the Woods, is a hairy and generally peaceful giant originating from Basque and Navarre mythology. The Basajauns were thought to build megaliths and keep the secret to various skills and technological advancements humans learned through trickery. People who saw the Basajaun described it as a huge humanoid, anywhere between 9 to 16 feet tall, covered in fur, and sporting a beard and long hair. The Basajaun also had a female counterpart, the Basandeer, which lacked the beard. The Basajauns were usually shepherds, often seen taking care of huge flocks of sheep, whistling and shouting to warn human shepherds of incoming storms or wolf packs, expecting a piece of bread in return, which would be collected while they slept. The Basajauns made use of their strength to build megaliths, dolmens, and cromlechs. They also knew agriculture, music, ironworking, carpentry, architecture, and similar technologies long before humans did. The Basajauns were believed to inhabit Atorn and Gorias forests in the Basque country and the Irati jungle in Navarre. No one knows if they still exist or not. The Mothman. The Mothman is a strange, flying, bird-like creature that has been sighted numerous times, most often before a disaster strikes the area of the sighting. It is described as tall, with large moth or bat-like wings, no neck, and large red glowing eyes. It is sometimes described as being human-like in shape, and sometimes bird-like. The Mothman was first sighted in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, from November 12, 1966, to December 15, 1967. It was said to have chased a couple's car, flying at speeds exceeding 10 miles per hour. It was seen and heard several other times during the next months, and was described similarly each time. Sightings continued until the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge in the area. After that, the Mothman mysteriously disappeared. The Mothman has been sighted many times since then in other places around the globe, always before a catastrophic and destructive disaster strikes. There are a few theories on what Mothman really is. Some suggest that it is a paranormal creature, such as an alien or demon. Some people even say that Indrid Cold and Mothman are the same creature, or that both of them are related somehow. Others say it is simply a misidentified or unknown species of bird. The Dover Demon. The Dover Demon is a small humanoid alien-like creature that was reported in Dover, Massachusetts. It was the subject of an intensive scare during the 1970s, when multiple witnesses came forward with their sightings. The Dover Demon is described as looking sort of like the grey variety of alien, except that it has rosy tan-colored skin instead. The Dover Demon has a large head on a small, stick-like body. It can be bipedal, but it often travels on all fours or switches back and forth between the two modes of locomotion. It has eyes that glow, usually orange, or sometimes green. It does not seem to wear any clothing, and unlike the Greys, the Dover Demon does not seem to be associated with any UFOs. It just wanders around on its own. The strange tale begins at 10:32 p.m. on April 21st, as three 17-year-olds were driving north on Farm Street. The boy behind the wheel spotted something creeping along a wall of loose stones on the left side of the road. At first he thought it was just a dog or a cat, until his headlights shined on it and he realized it's nothing he's ever seen before. The figure slowly turns its head and stares into the light, its two large, round, glassy, lidless eyes shining brightly like two orange marbles. Except for its oversized head, the creature is thin, with long spindly arms and legs, and large hands and feet. The skin is hairless and peach-colored and appears to have a rough texture. Standing no more than 3 to 4 feet tall, the figure is shaped like a baby's body with long arms and legs. It had been making its way along the wall when the car lights surprised it. Unfortunately, neither of the two other companions saw the creature. The sighting only lasted a few seconds and, before the boy behind the wheel could speak, the creature left the scene. The boy dropped his friends off and went to his home. Visibly upset, he walked through the door and his father asked him if something was wrong. The boy relates the story and later sketches what he's seen. Cryptozoologists seldom show interest in the Dover Demon. Mainstream cryptozoologists are rarely willing to seriously investigate humanoids other than hairy humanoids. It seems that sightings only happen during a short time period, with most claiming that sightings have now ceased, so the Dover Demon does not seem to be a pressing matter. If the creature exists, then it seems that it is introverted and reclusive by nature, with no intent to harm humans. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for more videos in the near future. Thank you for watching.